These glitches in the Matrix will have you believing in the simulation theory. Don't believe me? Just watch. Bro, there was just one cat.
Shooting and moving. Put it in the water and it starts to float. Wait. But the cool part that really was saying is.
Wait, how? Okay, I've seen this happen before. I have seen this happen before where it's raining in one concentrated spot and it's trippy. It's real trippy. Look at this mess here. Wait, how? Wait, no. I think I know how. They ain't fooling nobody. Wait, maybe they are fooling me because I don't get it. How? Are they using some sort of magnets? But it's just staying there. I don't know. Wait. I'm seeing shadows here, but people are riding over the heads of the That didn't make any sense. Look at it. Oh, I remember him. This man got some skills. Come on now with the AI. The apples turned into fairies. Yo. AI is crazy. Whoa. Oh, okay. Dang, that was trippy. I just knew that truck was supposed to keep going. It's a reflection thing. It's a reflection. We're seeing the reflection of the vehicle on this end before we see the vehicle actually drive through. Yo, what the frick? I think his programming is off. This deer need to be reprogrammed. Yo, how's he doing that? Okay, all of his weight is on his front legs. And why is he doing that with his hind legs though? That's fascinating. Yo, so this is a glitch in the Matrix that a friend of mine discovered. Both of us remember back in the day growing up being told that horses couldn't lie down for too long or sleep lying down because of the weight of their muscles or something crushing their organs, something of that sort. But we're seeing these horses in this video and they're all just sleep. Like it's a normal thing for horses to be lying down. Look at this fool on his back. Like I've never, before this video, and I also didn't grow up near farms, well, I've never seen horses lie down and just sleep. I thought they slept standing up. Look at this. Look at this mess. And even the comments was like, when you think both your horses are dead, oh man, that's what I'm saying. They just knocked out. Look, snoring, getting them goodsies in. Look at this. Oh, another one over there. Or maybe I'm from a different or weird timeline where that was a thing, that horses couldn't lie down while sleeping. Did y'all hear about that too? Or am I tripping?
Weirdest thing just happened to me. I did this puzzle back at home in Jersey before I moved to the city. I wanted to frame it as decor because look how beautiful she is. It took me days to finish, mostly because a large portion is like one color. And once I finished, I realized there was one piece missing. Like, of course. I searched high and low for this piece. I looked in every crack, crevice, crease in my room to find this missing piece, but she was nowhere to be found. So I realized it might be like a manufacturing issue. But I framed it anyway because I decided to use it as a metaphor. Life is never complete. There's always room for growth and perfection is never the goal. The other night I left my apartment for a bit and then when I came back I tossed my keys on my bed and when I picked them up the missing piece was under my keys. I was like, what? I was perplexed. Like I thought this was a glitch in the Matrix, parallel universe, timeline jumping, whatever. I was like, I did this puzzle in a completely different state. How does it appear beneath my keys in New York after all that moving, everything? I just don't understand it. I'm so happy and excited that I can finally finish this, but like, what the heck? I need to know if anyone else has experienced any glitch in the Matrix things. So let me know your stories because I'm genuinely curious about this topic.
I've had something happen like this several times to me before when I was younger, but never did I really correlate it with being a glitch in the matrix type of thing until just now. And it makes perfect sense because, yeah, it's unexplainable. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that? Please share your story down below.
My husband and I are at a vineyard right now, and we decided to, in true millennial fashion, play a game to pass the time. And we found this really old game. It turns out if you look at the back of the box, it's from 1991. 1991. The very first card that we look at is called Clues. That's the theme. So the idea is that you give your partner the clues and they have to guess the brand. The first 3 clues right here are underwear, cornucopia, and apples and grapes. Can you guess what the brand is? Can you guess?
Fruit Balloons.
I know it's backwards, but you can read that. It's Fruit of the Loom. This is from 1991. That proves that there was always a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo as far back as 1991. There was always a cornucopia.
Facts. Facts. As far as I'm concerned, that was more than enough proof for me that the cornucopia was always on the Fruit of the Loom logo. They think we stupid.
Forces and protecting the population and minimizing civilian casualties have long been a cornerstone.
Whoa.
Casualties have long been a cornerstone of the counterinsurgency.
Get your eyes right. What the what? Man, y'all can say that's some SpaceX-ish all y'all want. That hoe came out the mountains. Oh, dang. They saying this thing came out the mountains.
TikTok, this is just for entertainment, but have you ever seen a dog completely freeze like it's just glitching out of the Matrix? No? Me neither, until now. Check this out. All these animals I'm going to show you just look like their Wi-Fi cut out mid-movement.
I don't know. That like a pointer dog to me.
I need some explanation, guys. Are these animals glitching out the Matrix? Literally just frozen in mid-movement? What's going on? It's literally going on everywhere. Like these dogs, like look, that tail is literally mid-bent. The dog is in mid-sprint. This guy's even shouting the dog. It's gonna be a statue. He thinks it's a statue. These animals are broken, and guess what, guys? It's not just dogs. Check this out. A frozen cat.
We've
Just
seen
in
this.
the middle of the street. We know how aware cats are of their awareness and how much they will just jump out of the way at any fright or scare. This cat's just stuck. What is this cat stuck in? Check out this last one. Birds. I have never seen anything like this.
Wait, nah, that's crazy.
Frozen birds.
What the?
I seriously don't know what to make of this one. Let me know in the comments.
Them dogs, I feel like we might have been able to explain that away, but that clip with the cat, he should have played the rest of it because another cat entered the scene checking out that cat to see what he was doing, and then that cat looked and he was stuck too. He was frozen just like that. It was weird. It was weird to say the least.
Y'all, something massive just happened on the earth, y'all. And just to prove it, look at the skies of Norway, y'all. Look at this. Look at these insane auroras just lighting up the sky of Norway, y'all. Also, when I looked at the video, I peeped this thing over here in the skies. And when I zoomed into it, it looked like this, y'all. It looked like somebody literally cut a piece of the sky open. Y'all see that? It looks like a smoke ring as well, but it looks like somebody just cut a piece of the cloud out or the sky out. Check this out from Disney World. Y'all see this? These are not just a byproduct of solar storms. Something deeper is happening here. Y'all see, look at the colors. Look, y'all see that? It's flashing. And then y'all remember this portal that opened up all over the UK? Do y'all believe this has something to do with this? We've all seen some amazing videos of the Aurora Borealis, but nothing like this, y'all. This is breathtaking. This is literally Lisa Frank. When you think of Lisa Frank, you literally see this. The Hopi, the Norse, the indigenous tribes all across the world, they knew these lights were sacred. They knew when the sky danced, they understood that change was coming. And there's a great shift that's happening right now, right underneath their foot, y'all. And I believe sooner or later, everyone's going to see this around the world, y'all. The shift is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
My baby is freaking out because of the stream.
Whoa.
I don't even know how he even seen this.
How can you not see it? It sees you.
But, yeah.
Lots of you have probably seen this photo floating around the internet at the moment, and it's absolutely sending people into a frenzy. But I've managed to find the actual video for it, right? So, he's going to zoom in his lovely camera here, and he's going to try and focus up, and you will see this object manifest, right? It is absolutely incredible. So this was filmed on the 16th of February on 2020 in Brazil at 8:45 p.m, okay? There's not much else to this apart from the fact that he was complimenting how beautiful this thing was, what it looked like, how it kind of glided through the wind and as it was flying across. And he says, notice that nothing on the UFO itself is actually blowing around. So I think he's trying to reference the tentacles there. Everything is pretty static in nature, which is rather interesting, given probably about how high this thing is. And I'm going to say it's probably quite high up in the sky. Look at this, bro. Look at that. Okay? What is shaped like that? And for those of you that don't know or know, these things have been reported around the world so much over the years, even more so now, of just strange atmospheric phenomena. And with sky watchers, this is now in a classification system of UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, okay? So these things are very real. People report having electromagnetic anomalies around these sort of objects, these things messing around with electronics, I guess people's mental state as well in certain aspects. So I don't know, there's just a very, very strange thing around these objects themselves. But this piece of footage is absolutely mega, mate. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. I thought it was hella interesting, so yeah, comment down below.
I'm pretty sure we all thinking the same thing. That thing looked like a massive jellyfish flying in the sky.
In a world first, scientists have unlocked a new sense for computers: scent. Robots now know how to smell. Essentially, the teleportation of scent. We've already successfully digitized our senses of sight and sound by turning what we see into digital form, like JPEGs, what we hear into MP3s, and putting it all together into videos, like this one right here. Capturing our real-life visual and auditory senses and turning them into ones and zeros that computers can understand. That's what it means to digitize something. Big surprise, I'm not actually inside of your phone, but I've digitized an audio-visual representation of myself so that I can, in essence, teleport my appearance and my voice to devices like yours around the world. Osmo Labs adds a whole new dimension to how we communicate and interact with anything online by adding our sense of smell into the mix. The researchers took purple peaches, also known as a plum, mashed it up and captured its scent molecules inside of a vial. A machine then sucked the air out of this vial and used AI to analyze those molecules and map out its scent profile on a molecular level. Using this blueprint, they can print this scent anywhere in the world as a clear liquid that smells exactly like a plum. Officially giving computers a new sense and allowing us to teleport smells on top of images, video, and audio over the internet. And I think we can all see how things are going to end up when we can start smelling our messages in the group chat. Other than that, there are still some pretty mind-blowing applications for this. We'd be able to digitally store a library of our favorite scents that we can access at any time. The luxury fragrance industry would likely go out of business, as we'd be able to perfectly clone every designer cologne and perfume that exists. Virtual reality would add an extra level of immersion into their worlds, bringing us one step closer to perfect simulations and fulfilling simulation theory. And above all, computers will now have a new sense that they're able to experience, letting us know how good or bad we smell, and combined with generative AI, we may even be able to create our very own sense from scratch with a couple of text prompts.
All I know is the day better never come where my phone tells me that I have bad BO. Oh, hell no.
So I'm out here at the farm scouting for turkeys, and it's like between 6:55 and 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I'm just gonna take a good video. The sky is really pretty, the farm will look really pretty. And as I'm taking this video, the sky done something weird, like it glitched. And I wasn't looking through the phone, like I was scanning the field, but I was like looking at the field and I seen the sky do it. And I was like, what the world? And I stopped the video and I went back and my phone caught it. I don't know what it is. It's weird for sure. I'll show you guys a video. Check it out. Tell me what you think.
Let's see it.
It's kind of weird.
Yo, did the sky just blink? It did.
We are the first species.
Pay attention, people. Pay attention.
To be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight.
Whoa.
We are.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That woman did not take that back. What? The babies we eat. You eating babies, lady?
There's no tea in Skechers.
Wait, what did he just say?
There's no tea in Skechers.
I always remember there being a T in Skechers.
Thanks.
Skechers, like, it's in there. I was 10 years old. I specifically got this pair of Skechers to wear to Disneyland for comfort. And I remember there being a T. Like, I remember the T. Look, there's videos of people spelling Skechers with the T.
That's how Skechers is spelled. That's literally how it's spelled. What are you saying?
All over the place. Here's another one, Skechers with the T. Even this one, it has a T in it. I found this old Reddit forum from 8 years ago, and people are just kind of like, what the hell's going on? Because they always remember the T being there. It was always Skechers with the T to me. I can't remember it not having a T in it. Wait, is it not Skechers with the T? We're definitely gonna find like an old commercial with the T and Skechers.
You can't say Skechers without the T. Skechers. Right, that don't even look right. It don't even look right. Look at this is a freaking Mandela effect. This is a Mandela effect. What is that?
Okay, maybe there never was a T because this looks familiar. But the more
No, it looks wrong is what it looks.
I look at it, the more unfamiliar it looks.
Never will be.
What you talking about, fool? Mr. T's always in Skechers.
Look at how they troll us like this. Look at how they do this, just like Fruit of the Loom. You guys are trolls. Everybody deserves free Skechers. Everybody gets a free pair of Skechers just because you guys did this whole thing with this.
See, I've never even had a pair of Skechers. They can't even say it right no more because they took the T out of it. I ain't never even had a pair, and I definitely don't want none after this. Look.
This is the eerie moment terrified Russians shoot at mysterious UFO helicopter darting over Moscow. The ominous drone was blasted by paranoid Russian air defenses as they suffered a separate drone strike early on Thursday. Sinister footage shows a strange rotating object spinning over the Moscow region.
Nah, that must be a UFO. Because if they shooting at it like that, and that thing is big, they missing like crazy. That's the sad part.
It has a red center and is surrounded by a spinning white circular shell. Some suspected the red and white spinning aircraft was one of Ukraine's new RZ-500 helicopter drones. However, the RZ-500 has a maximum range of 186 miles, which is not far enough to reach Moscow. What do you think the strange device is?
Oh no, man. A helicopter drone?
This is insane. Scientists have just shocked the world after releasing a video where you can hear the first direwolf howl in 10,000 years. The Times just wrote an article about it and described it as the return of the direwolf. Now, if you didn't already know, direwolves once roamed the Americas from Canada all the way down to Venezuela. But about 10,000 years ago, they vanished, going extinct along with other giant Ice Age animals like the mammoth. But their bones stayed behind. And fast forward to 2025, scientists at Colossal Biosciences recently discovered ancient DNA inside fossils that dated all the way back from 11,000 50,000 to 72,000 years old. Then, using that DNA that they discovered, they managed to decode the direwolf's entire genetic blueprint. And here is where things get wild. They took ordinary DNA from a gray wolf and then edited it gene by gene to perfectly match the ancient direwolf's genetic code. Then, using domestic dogs as surrogate mothers, Romulus and Remus were born in October. Colossal claim that they are the first de-extinct animals ever. And at just 6 months old, they are already 4 feet long, weigh 80 pounds. And what's crazier is that instead of being really friendly and cuddly, the Times report that they're kind of cold, cautious, and avoid humans entirely. They even avoid the people who raised them and bottle fed them from birth. Colossal posted about this achievement on X, saying, "This moment marks not just a milestone for us as a company, but also a leap forward for science, conservation, and humanity." They said they're aiming to revolutionize endangered species by mastering genetic technology. And if successful, not only could we hold on to our current species from going extinct, but maybe even bring back the ones lost to the past. However, not everyone is celebrating. Some say calling this de-extinction is disingenuous, arguing that they are only gray wolves with 20 edited genes to mimic direwolf traits. And others warn that this kind of genetic meddling could lead to catastrophic consequences. But what do you think? Is this an amazing scientific breakthrough that should continue to be pursued? Or are we messing with things far beyond our control, risking consequences that we can't possibly predict?
I'm glad somebody said it, because I was going to say the same thing. Like, are these things really 100% wolves, or is there 20% of their pre-existence? Like, because a surrogate mom being a freaking domestic dog, like, doesn't it mean that this wolf have part dog in it too, because his mom that gave birth to it was a dog? I don't know how this thing works. So the people that's watching this claiming that they don't know what this is that they're seeing.
All right, this was released yesterday. These are the UFOs that Jake Barber and his team at Skywatch were filming. These are the people that are saying that they're using psionic capabilities, like telepathic capabilities, to summon these crafts. And this is the first time that they're releasing any video from it. People have been waiting on it since he announced it back in maybe, I don't know, last couple of months. But you can see they're making impossible movements, disappearing and reappearing. And you can see this one's called the Class 8 Hornet. And yeah, so people are like disappointed. They're saying it's too grainy, you can't tell what it is. This is their first time releasing the video, so there's more to come. They're still doing their job. They are actually summoning these things. But yeah, just wanted you guys to check it out. It was just released yesterday. Somebody mentioned they wish they knew what these were filmed at. I agree, I wish so too, but here it is.
He said these people are actually summoning these alleged aliens using thought power alone. Like, what kind of thinking do you have to be on? Like, how does that work? I'm just gonna think strongly about aliens and then they're gonna just appear. Nah.
There's a Snow White theory. I know you never heard this one before.
Okay, Snow White.
So, you know how she dies because she bites the poisonous apple? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the movie, all of the dwarves are around her body and they just left her there lying. Yeah. Because on the screen, it says what? She was so beautiful, even in death. The dwarves could not find in their hearts to bury her. They left her there until the prince came, kissed her, and she came back to life. But what if she didn't come back to life? Because at the end of the movie, it's almost symbolizing that she didn't really come back to life.
What happened?
She was just being carried to heaven. So the prince kissed her on the lips, brought her back on a white horse. What does the white horse represent?
I forgot.
Death.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to where? A castle in the clouds. So what happened in the story theory, she didn't come back to life. She just died and was carried to heaven by the prince, which was, who knows, the Grim Reaper or the Angel of Death.
Now that's an interesting theory, and one that makes a lot of sense, because hell, after all, we never did get a Snow White 2, did we? And speaking of, I wonder if the Snow White in the live action movie, is she gonna pass away too? I wasn't going to watch it, but now I guess I will.
The most disturbing things ever said by astronauts. In 2003, Chinese astronaut Yang Liwei was the first person from China to go to space. He was sent up all alone when suddenly, at one point during the mission, he hears a knocking sound on the outside of his spaceship. He recalls it as someone knocking the body of the spaceship, like hitting an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. He wasn't even able to recreate it, and to this day, experts have no idea what it could have been. During the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, when Neil and Buzz were on the lunar surface, Neil Armstrong unexpectedly switches to a medical communication channel and spoke directly to the chief medical officer, saying, and I quote, "They're here, they're parked on the side of the crater, they're watching us." This was revealed in a documentary by former NASA employee Ken Johnston, but the original recordings are of course highly classified. Rumored to be a part of the infamous Apollo 11 missing 2 minutes, where on record Mission Control lost radio contact with the astronauts due to technical difficulties. In another 1995 documentary interview, former NASA astronaut Franklin Story Musgrave claimed to have been followed by a white 8-foot-long snake floating through space, saying, quote, "On 2 of my missions, and I still don't have an answer, I have seen a snake out there, 6, 7, 8 feet long." He said it appeared rubbery and followed him for quite a long time, floating in or near Earth's stratosphere. In the same interview, Musgrave also cryptically states that other civilizations have been around for millions of years that are doing unimaginable kinds of things. But you know, they were probably all just joking.
I don't care what nobody say. They never went to space in 1969. They never lost communication because they never had communication. They didn't even have cell phones back then. And you want me to believe that they was able to communicate with some astronauts in space from Earth and they ain't had no cell phones? Man, even if they had cell phones, they still wouldn't have been able to do it. Because how they doing it today? I'm calling cap on all of it. They ain't been to space back then and they ain't been to space now.
Glitch in the Matrix story. So just listen while I pack eggs because it's insane and it happened today. So I bought a house in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around me. This is relevant. So I leave today to run to the grocery store real fast to get something for dinner. And I pull out of my driveway. I go to the end of the road. And when I get up to the end of the road, the car that turns the corner to come down my road passing me is my old self in my old car. It's me. What is that? So when this happens, I have this flash of a memory of me getting lost out here when I was younger. I didn't know where I was, and at the time, cell phones didn't have GPS on them. I never had GPS in a car. And I was lost out here. And I drove down this road. Like, what? And this is the middle of the day. I'm not tired. This wasn't a hallucination or like some strong memory that happened. Does that mean it makes it true that all of our worlds are happening at the same time?
That right there was one of about 3 stories that I've heard in the last 2 weeks of people that experience very similar things, where they will be somewhere and they will catch a glimpse of their younger self, and then they will have this flashback of when they were that age viewing the scene that they're currently in. It's like, what is that? How is it that so many people are experiencing that right now? And are you one of them? Have you experienced that? Comment down below.
The most popular book in the world has sold over 5 billion copies worldwide, yet very few people actually know how it really explains our origin story. And yes, it really does go there, and a little bit there too. So, it all starts with God. He is everything and everywhere and everywhen. But there isn't anything yet, so he made heaven and earth, which were formless and very dark. So God said, "Let there be light," and boom, now we can see, which is good. He separated the dark from the light, calling them night and day, and we just had our first day. Day 2, God puts water everywhere and separates the water above from the water below with a firmament, which he calls the sky. Day 3, the water below settles and reveals land beneath it. God calls this land earth and the newly settled water sea, and also puts plants, trees, and fruits everywhere. Now it was good, for now. Day 4, God adds lights to the firmament. A greater light that was in charge of the day and a lesser light for the night, the sun and the moon. Oh, and also stars at night. This is a biblically accurate depiction of the earth as found in the Bible, so there it is. Day 5, now he puts sea creatures and birds everywhere and tells them to multiply so the seas and the skies are always filled with life. This this was also good. Day 6, we get land animals, wild animals, tame ones, reptiles, bugs, you name it. Then God was like, you know what? Let's make a very special one called human beings, who will rule over all the creatures in the sea, air, and land and can eat all the plants. Oh, and they also might be immortal and will never die. So he took dust from the earth and blew into its nostrils and gave life to the first man ever. Once again, this was good. Very good. Day 7, God takes a rest from all his work and makes this a very special day of rest for everyone. But when he made the man, he actually put him in a garden that he planted in the east, somewhere close to the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, but no one really knows exactly where. He called it the Garden of Eden and told the man to take care of it. He can do whatever he wants, just never ever ever eat from this tree right here. That's the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and if you eat from it, you die. That was his only rule. But the man seemed lonely, so God wanted to give him a helper. While the man was sleeping, God sneaks out one of his ribcage bones, and with that bone, he makes a woman, and they were both naked and totally chill about it. Now in the garden, there was a snake who could talk, and was also a sword of the devil. It was a cunning snake that tricks the woman into eating a fruit from the forbidden tree by telling her it'll give her special god powers. She also picks another fruit from it, gives it to the man, and he eats it too. All of a sudden, they both got super self-conscious about being naked, so they made clothes out of fig leaves and hid from God when he came around. God was all like, hey, why y'all hiding? And the man says, I don't know, I just feel kind of weird being naked around you now. Now God's all like, whoa, how do you know what naked means? Did you eat from that tree I told you not to eat from? The man admits, yeah, I did, but she made me do it. And the woman's like, okay, my bad, that snake tricked me. So we have the first sin of mankind, which is bad, and thus started God's quest to save humanity from sin. He punishes the woman by making giving birth super painful for the rest of eternity, and also tells them they're not immortal anymore and will now die from old age. Turns out the man's name is Adam, and he names his wife Eve. God makes them both clothes and kicks them out of the Garden of Eden for disobeying him. And the first thing Adam and Eve do after getting banished is make babies. She gives birth and calls the first one Cain and the second one Abel, 2 brothers. God liked Abel more because he was more loyal to him, but he told Cain not to get jealous or anything like that. So naturally, Cain tells Abel to follow him into a field and ends his life out of jealousy. Another sin. God curses Cain to wander the earth, and then Adam has another son with Eve named Seth. Eventually, Seth has a son, which starts a long lineage of births from those kids and those kids' kids and so on. After about 7 generations, a son named Noah is born, who turns out to be a pretty good guy. Now at this point, humans started multiplying like crazy all over Earth. Men were running around, taking wives and having children with all of them. Among them were a people called the Nephilim, who were born of the sons of God and the daughters of men, which is often interpreted to mean fallen angels that intermingle with humans, but this topic is highly debated. Oh, and these Nephilim were suspected to be giants as well. God sees this and realizes that humans were starting to get a little out of control. So he was like, you know what? I'm gonna clean wipe all living things on Earth and just restart everything from scratch. Except for this guy Noah. He's a pretty good guy. As the Earth fills with more corruption, God tells Noah to build a giant ark because he's gonna flood the Earth and destroy everyone on it. God promises that Noah, his wife, his sons, and his sons' wives will all be spared in the ark, and tells them to also gather 2 of every animal on Earth to bring onto the ark as well. Land animals, birds, reptiles, everything. And so Noah builds it, it starts raining, he, his family, and all the animals get on the ark. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights as the ark sailed above the flood and everyone on Earth died. After 150 days, the water subsided and the ark rested on top of a mountain. After 40 more days, Noah opens the window and sends out a dove to do some recon, which came back with an olive leaf, meaning the waters have subsided enough for trees to grow and the earth was now dry. Noah leaves the ark with his family, all the animals, and builds an altar, which God likes. He likes it so much that he promises he will never flood the earth again, which he calls a covenant, and that rainbows will forever be reminders of this covenant. He tells Noah and his family to multiply and repopulate the earth. So Noah and his sons get to business, having kids, and their kids have kids, and so on, and many tribes and cities came up from these generations. Everyone spoke the same language and communicated with each other very well. In one of the cities, a few people got together and were like, hey, you know what? Let's build a super tall, magnificent tower. This tower will be so amazing because its top will reach into heaven, and we will be so great because of it. They call it the Tower of Babel. God saw this and thought these people were being a little bit too prideful and arrogant. So he confuses everyone by making them all speak different languages so they don't understand each other anymore, and scattered them across the earth so they can no longer work on building this tower. Everyone continued having kids and their family lineages kept growing. About 10 generations later, a son named Abram is born. And this man right here, well, he was the beginning of everything else.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to approach this story. That was either a very quick synopsis or a load of misinformation. Which one do y'all think? Comment down below. But anyway, leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. See you.